Hello everyone, this is Here's Trivia. Welcome back to Season 4 of our subscriber game tournament as we continue here in Round 1 with Group D action. And in our second matchup here, we have Zhonglee in the green versus Sterling Inquisitor in the red. And looking at the composition for Zhonglee, we have an army comp led by Wei Yan, Yuan Shao, and Mu Lu. And the units are a little weird. We have 5 units of Ji infantry, a couple melee cav, and 4 elephants. So the main carry here are going to be the 4 elephants. And then there are some anti-cavalry infantry and a couple of, I guess, anti-range options with the melee cav. Obviously, we have Distant Courage, which will boost the charge bonus as well as the morale for the unit. Wei Yan's not that strong, but Mulu is going to be very good against killing enemy infantry if he's on the elephant, which I believe he will be on. And then looking on the other side for Sterling Inquisitor, we have an army with no infantry, as he's running 6 Imperial Lancer Cavalry on Huang Fusong, and then 4 Chen Peacekeepers on Liu Chong. And then finally, Cao Cao rounds out the composition. Now, Cao Cao's purpose is going to be his unique passive ability that speeds up cooldowns. So there will be more show of force. This is definitely a kiting army of all cav, trying to maximize the number of times that show of force can be used and how fast Hail of Arrow comes back online. Very interesting army. Obviously, there are those G infantry on the other side, but if they get hit with Hail of Arrow, that really changed the calculation. I'm not sure if the crossbow damage from the Chen Peacekeeper can take out the elephants, especially with 4 elephants. But at least there's no infantry unit for those elephants to attack. So overall, this is a very interesting composition clashing against each other, and we'll see which side comes out on top. Now, as we load into battle here, nothing crazy for deployment. We got the generals with ability usage up front, the cavalry ready to kite back in the rear, and then on this side, elephant ready to charge, infantry right in front. Let's see what happens with this kiting comp versus this charging elephant composition. So they're definitely looking to use abilities. Cao Cao has a unique ability in Impervious Presence that greatly reduces your cooldowns. Every 5 seconds it goes down by another 5 seconds, basically cuts your cooldown by more than half. And this will allow his generals to get off more abilities than usual. I'm surprised they're just going straight at it, because the cavalry could counter, and we do indeed see the northern cavalry come up. Now the wedge formation might be too slow, because you do sacrifice speed when you're in wedge. They're looking for a perfect angle here to hit the infantry. They're trying to hit them down the river, which obviously would be good, because you avoid all the tree potentially blocking. But I'm not sure if this is going to work, because the cavalry are sort of coming. Alright, the cavalry's moving in for support. We got a show of force. Just hitting a few things. I'm not sure exactly who he was targeting. I think it's the infantry over here, which is a weird choice. Huang Fusong's moving away. Cavalry's just shifting. I expect a lot of kiting, actually. Cao Cao should go back to him, yeah, because Nature's Ally also boosts speed. Interesting that Yuan Shao's not going with the unit. I don't know if he realized that Distant Courage also boosts charge, but they're never going to touch the cavalry unless the cavalry gives them an opportunity, because they can outrun them. You can see all the targeting coming towards Liu Chuan with the infinite ability usage. It should actually be up pretty soon, that cooldown, which is kind of ridiculous, but that's why Cao Cao's picked. Yeah, they're never going to let the elephant catch them. It would be a grave mistake if that happens. Okay, they went against a melee cow? That's a terrible target. Time to run. Time to run. This is not how you use this comp. Dumping all the range into a melee cav? I mean, the one good thing is Hail of Arrow has suppression, which, as you can see, took off 500 points of base melee charge. So basically they have no charge bonus right now. They should actually just stay and let them charge before he comes back. Yeah, there's no damage. Now they need to get the backup. Okay, they're moving away. I think this is pretty sloppy, because they've done a good job of pulling the elephant's attention And these guys should have just been covering for the generals. And the ability usage should be dumped on the generals and not the units. Because the units can be, you know, slowly kited out. These guys can never do anything in this battle. What? He charged the Chen peacekeepers into the elephants? Instead of using crossbow to whittle them down? Massive unbreakable happening on both sides. Doesn't mean much, but there's enough distance that maybe they can get a quick charge and then get out. Okay, we got more focus fire on the units, which meaningless unless Yuanshao is attacked and, you know, their morale's not boosted by 50 points. I think this is almost deja vu of the previous battle. So on one side, Sterling Inquisitor successfully divided the enemy army, and he has the mobility, but instead of focusing his armies on one side or taking advantage of his range abilities, he just basically divided his own army in half and fought both sides at the same time. Well, the elephants clearly are not doing great against cavalry, but they're still trading, you know, decently. There's just a lot more per unit health on them, so they're going to be able to withstand a lot more hits. Obviously, if this were infantry, the elephants would have killed all of them already. But things like this should never happen. No. Is he thinking what I think he's doing? Is he going to do a hail arrow here while Liu Chong's getting chased? While his cavalry's flooding in? Cao Cao's really busy killing elephants, and Liu Chong is just getting hunted. Fortunately, no one's dismounted yet. Well, I guess that cavalry is technically doing something in terms of stopping infantry from getting over. These two are not being microed well, but looks like they're finally coming over. Well, the cavalry's falling apart. Oh, I am curious how... Oh, Mulu died on right, because he's an elephant. That's why he died. It's dismounted generals versus elephant. Not surprised. That's the only thing that sort of is unique in a sense to Wei Yan, where you get into the breach. There's a lot of charge bonus boosts in this entire composition by Zhonglee. That's not a very powerful ability for Reckless Strike. You're giving up a lot of your own health. And oftentimes you don't hit very well. Well, two dismounted general against a mounted. He needs to run away. There's no fight here. Cao Cao apparently is the elephant killer in the room. This comp did not go the way I think I thought it was going to go, but assuming they kill off the generals, they're fine because they still have the 3 abilities and they still can hunt down these infantry later. They don't even need to kill these elephants. They can kite those forever too. Cao Cao versus Yuanshao. Now the question is, can they get mounted again? Right? If they don't mount back, then there's no kiting. There's general versus general on this side. There's cavalry helping. Shutting down distant courage for a little bit. But man, are these elephants durable. I'm just surprised there's no attempt at using Chen Peacekeeper's, you know, crossbow damage to whittle down the elephants, at least somewhat. Okay, they're trying to kill him before the infantry breaks up the fight. Wei Yan just need to run. Don't use Reckless Strike. That's not worth it. Just run. And the infantry can't trap them. Cao Cao's also dismounted, so triple dismount. I guess there's no kiting here. They did get the kill, but what next, right? What's next? Are they gonna just stand and fight and kill off the rest? Someone has to chase him. Maybe a cavalry unit? Okay, we gotta remount on Liu Chong. So one person is on. Liu Chong can probably kite this out if he wanted to. Just gotta get out of here. A second remount. Cao Cao's also desperately looking for his horse. He might have been dismounted unwillingly though. Because I remember he was mounted and then he wasn't. I don't think I saw him remount. Oh, he's... Just get back on the horse. Okay, Huang Fusong is out. Cao Cao, I'm not sure, can leave. Huang Fusong just uses his abilities because he's not going to be guaranteed to be unbreakable. But Liu Chong is, so Liu Chong can actually kite for a while. And getting a cavalry to charge them. I think Cao Cao's just going to stay here in this fight. Alright, Liu Chong, maybe shoot off your ability. He definitely has it. Okay. So it's not very dense, there's not a lot of coverage, but best you can do here. Pull off his little bow, shoot the elephants. Shoot your shot. Okay, good ability usage. Good dodge by Yuan Shao here. I mean, this would have been better use at the elephants, in my opinion. Oh, he shot at infantry, but I think that's just a piercing. I think he's definitely going for this. The crossbow's coming out too. That actually got a hit. This is the smart choice. Get Cao Cao to chase him. Because you got to shut down the extra morale boost. Have these two chase him. He's never going to fight back. If he does, you shut down the distant courage, which is the goal anyways. Elephants plus distant courage, pretty scary. They're just not routing. They just got these mass with lots of health sitting here on the battlefield. Although, fortunately, there's just no target for them. So, Zhonglee's comp here, just ran to a bunch of cavalry, which, they still killed, but just a lot slower and definitely not what the elephant meant to be used for. Alright, so we got the Unbreakable being held on Huang Fusong. It's a little bit late on the cavalry, but no big difference. Kind of a waste. You're not really looking for, like, melee. Okay, finally he's going to attack. That's actually a mistake, but I guess at this point, those elephants aren't going to kill the generals. So it is going to be over here. Someone just had to put in the finishing touches here. So what I'm guessing here is he had his fire will turned on and then his melee turned off. So he was right clicking, but he was just trying to pull the crossbow and wasn't getting any hits. But now they're all dismounted, melee's on, and they get the kill. Well, that's totally not how I expected the fight to go, but the result's pretty much what we predicted. If we look at the casualty count, Zhonglee's army, the elephant were the star. The infantry just can't really keep up with the fight since the pace is really fast with all cavalry for Sterling Inquisitor. The fight kind of, basically wasted away all the Chen Peacekeepers. They didn't get any kills. They killed 4 elephants out of, 4 units of elephants, and they all died without shooting a single crossbow shot. Complete waste of money on those units. And then for ability usage, I think they were targeting the wrong things. Early on, we had a show of force targeting some Z infantry. We had no health arrow usage in the river. They were getting pressured a little bit. Technically, those melee cav were sent up, but they actually didn't end up targeting the generals for some weird reason. And then he basically divided his own cavalry up and then fought 2 different sides. Fortunately, they made the smart decision of dismounting their generals. So with Huang Fusong and Liu Chong dismounted, they were able to kill Mulu pretty easily, and then follow that up by chasing down Wei Yan. Then with Yuan Shao, you're in an awkward position where if you fight with him, your units don't get the buff, and if you don't fight with him, you are watching your units get killed. And that's exactly what happened. And also, fortunately, 2 of the generals were commanders for Sterling Inquisitor, so they didn't have to worry about army loss with all his cavalry getting wiped. So in the end, the 3 generals prevailed. Not in the manner that I thought they would be, with the full kiting comp, where you just use your range on the generals, on those Chen Peacekeepers, and just kite away, and then force the enemy to make decisions where they do peel their comp apart, like the elephant charging forward, the infantry staying back. But then once they do fall apart, you use your speed to hit one point really hard, not the elephants. The elephants you can use Health Arrow, you can use Show of Force, just whittle them down slowly, use the crossbow. You're not going to kill them with cavalry damage. So that's how this fight turned out, and the result pretty much reflected the composition, even though the style of the fight wasn't what we thought it was going to be. But still a very entertaining one. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you all in the next one. Until then, bye!